Hi, and welcome back to episode 5 of my continuing Let's Play of Her Story. This is filmed back to back from the previous one, simply because I just want to break the damn episodes up a bit. That was 45 minutes of it, not a whole lot of anything actually. It was a really crap episode. But they're all crap episodes for me, so whatever. Stop waiting and get on with it. I say get on with it, I have no idea where I'm going with this. Um, uh, I'm not even entirely sure what I'm supposed to be doing in this game. What I'm actually supposed to be aiming for. Okay. Not getting anywhere, nowhere at all. No idea who that's supposed to be. And that's just a game of a fellow, so. Ah, okay. Have I been missing something completely? We keep seeing the face appear on it. Is that actually supposed to be a reflection on the screen? That it's Hannah or Eve is the one doing this? That I'm Hannah or Eve in this? Just want to put the anti-glare filter on. Oh god, that is ugly. I actually prefer it with the filter on. Okay. Uh, okay. Let's slow it down a little bit. And... okay. Alright. So, if we assume everything we've been told is true, which is obviously not going to be the case, there's going to be at least some lies in there. Yeah, okay, so that sixth blonde is from there. Hair. That's one of them. It's like, yeah, okay. Finding new clips and 3 words.
I don't see how it's hard. We've established I was in Glasgow when he was killed. You've spoken with the hospital.
Okay, that's not good starts.
A long time. We got married when I was 17.
It's a long time. I think it's a decade.
Yeah, when I was at school. I worked part-time in the front shop. It was sort of an extended family thing. My dad used to work there, my mum worked there before I was born. I took care of paperwork, filing, typing out invoices, that kind of thing. It was a good job for a girl back then. I didn't work a till or anything though, I was quite shy, so I wouldn't have liked to have worked a till.
No idea how I got that. I might actually look those up at the end, but I don't want to get spoiled by the name of the achievement. Okay.
I was living in the attic. It was a very hard time. I was depressed, was still pretty sick of the STD. And I came down one morning, they were dead. They were in bed and both had been sick. They'd thrown up a lot. And I slept through it. The police said it was the mushrooms they ate. Dad was a mushroom expert. He used to take us picking with him and he taught us how to recognise them. And there's no way he would have picked death caps. But the police believe that's what happened. They never even looked in the attic.
But that's supposed to be Eve. I'm pretty sure that's after it's revealed, yeah, about the failing the name part on the polygraph test. So she's admitting she's Eve. That's weird.
The whole thing was wrong. The bags, I think they were from our kitchen, you can probably check that. We never go into the cellar. It's just a place we put things we don't need. Dad used to grow mushrooms there. The bags were taped up. I think it was parcel tape. I think it was ours. They said it was food poisoning. There was something in the food they ate. My dad liked to pick mushrooms, grow them too. They said it was the mushrooms. It was hard to believe. Death caps. They have a skirt around the cap. My dad taught me that. But, I mean, the police had no reason to think it was suspicious. They lived alone, and no one had any reason to hurt them.
Except the person living in the attic. Let's confirm. Who was this who died? Have I not searched this before?
Yes. I inherited it from my parents, so it made sense to move back. Me and Simon. Felt like going back to old ways before the pregnancy. Reminded me of being a girl, the dollhouse in the attic, old things. We didn't sleep in my parents' bedroom for a long time. We decorated it as soon as we moved in, but it was another year before we started sleeping there. Yes, I read a lot as a child and watched lots of TV. Then the doll's house we had, we still have in the attic. It's kind of a fairy castle. We used to play out there and make up our own stories. I'm not sure where the dollhouse came from. I don't know if it was given to them or they inherited it. I mean, they wouldn't have had the money to buy it. It was so huge. It must have been taken up to the attic in parts and then reassembled up there. It's a beautiful thing. Wallpaper to scale, little furniture, the lights work, mirrors, beds, big duvets and pillows. We spent hours and hours playing in it, invented all these characters and families who lived there. We wrote paperwork for them all. Passports, diaries, gave them all really elaborate stories. Once, a moth got trapped in there. We'd left a light on. It was making the most horrendous noise. We tried to kill it, but it was tough. We ended up crushing it under a copy of the Arabian Nights.
Right, so that means there's one in here that I haven't seen yet. Actually, no, wait, 12? Yeah, so it's 8 I've tagged, these 3, so it's something else in attic in here. But I can't just search for random words. Ugh.
Well, fine, considering. I got back into the house today, and that was weird, knowing your people have been there through my things. It's like I've been burgled. I mean, worse, obviously. I don't know. I haven't lived in the cellar yet. They sent a cleaner in, as good as new, he said. But they had to throw some stuff out. Couldn't get the blood out. I'm still waiting to hear from the coroner so we can get a date set for the funeral. It's going to be a cremation. So,
Right hand. And the thing is, the right hand left hand thing, because earlier we had her drinking with the left hand, and there she sort of drank with the right hand, except there's clearly nothing in the cup by the fact she's moving the spoon around and you can hear it just rat, as it were, in there. Unless she's ambidextrous, which is unlikely, it's not particularly common. That suggests two different people. On the other hand, again we come back to this whole thing about reflections.
his body didn't look real. His throat. It looked like his throat had been cut. And I didn't see his glasses. There's these thick glasses. Doesn't always work. Can you imagine? I tried to get pregnant too, but it didn't happen. I slept with so many boys, men. My body refused. I think my period stopped because hers had. I was pretty though. I mean, how could we stay the same now? Felt like Hannah really fucked things up. Set us down separate paths. We had become different.
I'm just wondering when I should start searching random words, because I liked it better when I was breaking conclusions based on what she was saying, like the bit where I came up with the sister. I was like, ooh, yeah, I felt chuffed when I did that, and now I'm just kind of... Maybe my brain's just not really wired for this.
Look, on his clothes, that would make sense. He made it by hand. I mean, he brushes the silver onto the glass. It's not how they make mirrors these days. I mean, he made the mirror and he gave it to me.
See, I'm pretty sure what I need to be doing is cross-referencing terms. Is that really right? I need to use a term I already have with a term I actually no. I should start. Okay. So. Okay. So I'm gonna go through everything I can. Because there's loads of Simon entries. 61. Oh, okay. So what I'm looking for is ones of these that have more than 5 entries, because I can only see 5 at a time. And I'm going to use that for a start. I'm going to put all of these up against Simon. So here we go, new one.
I would have been a good mother. I was young, but I would have been a good mother. She was a girl, by the way, the baby. We were going to call her Sarah. Simon wanted to call her Ava after his nana, but I didn't want her to have a symmetrical name.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
I parked up on the street. It was busy, so I parked down the end of the road. I walked up to the house. I knocked on the door. No answer. I took my keys out of my bag, unlocked the door. The main lock was unlocked. I could tell because the key wouldn't turn when I tried to turn it to the left. I walked in. Simon's coat wasn't on the peg. I couldn't see his shoes on the shoe rack. I shouted out for him. I walked straight into the kitchen. He usually sits in there to have a cup of tea and read his paper. He wasn't there. I touched the kettle. It was cold. I looked quickly into the living room. Nothing. I walked upstairs to the bedroom. He wasn't there.
I've heard this before.
I didn't search for him because it was pretty clear he wasn't there. Then I had a shower. Whilst I was in the shower, the phone rang. I think it was Eric, his boss.
I've definitely heard this before.
Then I came out and I was just exhausted. So I lay down on the bed and I fell asleep, but I didn't mean to. I woke up a couple of hours later and I was surprised to see no one in the bed next to me. And then I remembered where I was and what had happened. That's when Eric called again. I spoke to him. Then I called Simon's parents. And then I decided to come and see you. Is that enough?
Oops. Okay. So, Friday. Argument. Sai goes to pub. H or E drives to Glasgow.
Parked up on the street. It was busy, so I parked down the end of the road. I walked up to the house. I knocked on the door. No answer. I took my keys out of my bag, unlocked the door. The main lock was unlocked. I could tell because the key wouldn't turn when I tried to turn it to the left. I walked in. Simon's coat wasn't on the peg. I couldn't see his shoes on the shoe rack. I shouted out for him. I walked straight into the kitchen. He usually sits in there to have a cup of tea and read his paper. He wasn't there. I touched the kettle, it was cold. I looked quickly into the living room, nothing. I walked upstairs to the bedroom, he wasn't there. I didn't search for him because it was pretty clear he wasn't there. Then I had a shower. Whilst I was in the shower, the phone rang. I think it was Eric, his boss. I didn't answer it. Then I came out and I was just exhausted. So I lay down on the bed and I fell asleep, but I didn't mean to. I woke up a couple of hours later and I was surprised to see no one in the bed next to me. And then I remembered where I was and what had happened. That's when Eric called again. I spoke to him. Then I called Simon's parents. And then I decided to come and see you. That enough?
Okay, that's all the Simons. Okay, this actually might be more useful. Blonde hair. Blonde baby. Glasgow. Argument. This just seems like it's going to be a bunch of slog work trying to do this. If I'm just blindly putting them together. And of course there's going to be terms I haven't come up with yet. Actually, was there something that popped up and I noted it? Oh, right, those two names. I'll also write that down. Let's finish doing the blondes. her. Oh, that one I was actually kind of hoping might put it off. Blonde car. Blonde time. Did I search that? No, clearly I didn't.
The legal stuff was completed very quickly. Hannah moved back in with Simon. Eric gave Simon the week off to help with the move. He decorated, modernised wallpaper curtains. Hannah insists the attic be left as it was, dollhouse and all. Simon never went up there.
Okay, let's. A couple of names popped up. I'm not sure why I wrote this down, but didn't even come up with anything. There we go. Okay, I think I should probably be a bit more picky about this because I'm clearly not getting anywhere. Thing is, I went through all the ones with Simon, so maybe I need to. Clearly, loads of Simon entries I haven't come across. I imagine, think, possibly, maybe. Uh. Uh. Screw it. That's the combination I should have put together. The fact it's come up with nothing is a little annoying. Always the first thing I do for checking my internet connection is running is I open up Google and type in banana. Don't know why. Banana's always the first word that comes to mind.
When you've been married for 10 years, stuff accumulates. You could argue about anything. And he's so nice. That doesn't help. He tries to smooth things over, and that just makes it worse. We're both passive aggressive, so we never normally argue directly about anything. When will the police let me back in the house? They let me take a bag of clothes with me, but... Sure? Yes, of course, that would help. Will you phone the house to let me know when you want to come round? Then I can make sure that I'm there.
Or make sure you're not both there.
I wasn't in the house.
That seems like it's supposed to be important, but... Fuck this.
A mobile phone? Yeah. Well, they have one for the glaziers, but it's only for work. I can't remember the number. It's in the kitchen. I saw it plugged into its charging cradle. No. I'm not sure what strange would be, but he hasn't been acting odd. He's been busy at work, but nothing too stressful. the bedroom?
Seriously?
That can't be right. In the bedroom?
Okay, something was found in the bedroom. Jesus.
Okay. I've given blood before. Do you need to take that few records?
I should have identical blood types.
Nothing like this has ever happened to me before. The blood. It's probably the worst thing that's ever happened to me. Like I said before, it was 3, something like that. I walked in, saw Simon. He was on the floor of the living room. His throat had been cut. There was a lot of blood.
Living room. So probably carpet.
Instead, she was sat behind him. She had my wig on. And she'd been there all day. And she had blood on her.
Got rid of you, mate.
And she was in shock.
So, this is sounding like she's changing a story of what happened on Saturday.
It was late, early Saturday morning.
Just, for the most part, throwing words at this thing. And hoping that I'm getting something useful. I mean, I'm trying to put in reasonable words, but
guess you could call it that, but we were both happy to get married. It was a beautiful wedding. We had our first dance to Come Back and Stay. I'm not sure if that's a good wedding song, but I loved it. I chose it. I mean, it was genuinely our first dance. We'd never danced together before. It was probably awful to watch, but I enjoyed it. It felt like it was just me and Simon for that moment. Just the two of us.
Paul Young. Oh dear.
And the Glaziers. I worked there some weekends and Simon had a part-time job there too. That was Eric's generosity. He was always good at helping out other people's children. Simon was quiet, more thoughtful than the other boys. Even then, he had a sense of craftsmanship. Wasn't always rushing stuff. Boys that age are just running around like headless chickens most of the time. You know? Classy had that look. He looked like a fairy tale prince from one of my books.
Wait, no, I searched for blood, didn't I?
Then she told me she wanted to help more. She said I should move in with her. She would come clean with Simon about me. I was family. I couldn't have a baby in a bedsit. I told her I didn't want to tell Simon. Told her to wait for the time being.
Not kind of clean, I meant, but I'll take it. Wonder if I should have been trying to timestamp these, but I don't see how I could really usefully use that. I've had that in my head all day. See, what I was thinking of, if he killed him in the living room, slit his throat, you slit someone's throat, blood gets every fucking where. Arterial spray, everything gets covered. And I had to tidy that up before the cops got there, and that's gonna be what, let's see. According to he probably died on the Friday or the Saturday. He went to the police on the Sunday, and presumably the day of the first interview was the 18th. So, I'm not sure when the police actually searched it, but I think it was 27th, was that? To be honest, this episode has most definitely been me getting desperate. Search for other palindromic names. Anna's attempt anyway. Mm.
I mean, what if they were crazy? You hear about these crazy people all the time. I mean, why would anyone who knew Simon want to kill him?
Because you're a cheating douchebag.
Mum and Dad never knew what was going on and got so good at it. We were so in sync that we'd use each other to cheat. If one of us had a hangover, the other one would go to school. Whoever was best at a subject would sit the exam. There were lots of differences between us. Some things one is better than the other at.
Yeah, it's just using synonyms for the same damn thing.
Yes, like a story. A beginning, a middle, and an end. Well, she has a knife. She's been cooking, I guess. She's been cooking him his favourite meal. She's his wife. He's asleep and she doesn't want to wake him because he's ill. That's why she's sad. Because he's ill and he might die. It's kind of a sad story, so I'm not sure how it ends. Well, she wasn't my real mother, but she raised me. Do you want to hear the story? It's a real life fairy tale. Sorry. The picture, the way it's drawn, just reminded me of the books we used to read as children. I read those fairy tales over and over, and they were so real to me. Rapunzel was my favourite. My brain is just full of it. Are any of these in colour?
Rapunzel's kind of actually an interesting story. I googled that too. Well, Wikipedia'd it. So there's various different versions, but it's basically married couple, woman is pregnant, is having cravings for a plant growing in a nearby garden. The plant's called Rapunzel. So the husband, desperate to appease his wife's cravings, because back then it was very dangerous, considered very dangerous not to. So he goes and steals the Rapunzel. She eats it, loves it so much. She's determined she must get more. So he steals some more, and this from Dame Gothel, who catches him. It's like, well, you're the shit now, sonny boy. And so basically to get out of it, he promises. I don't think it was him who was caught. It was his wife got caught stealing him. And to get her out of it, to keep her, to protect her, he agrees to give Dame Gothel the child when it's born. So child gets born, Dame Gothel takes her away. And she, starts growing up, beautiful long blonde hair. And when she's 10, Dame Gothel locks her up in the tower. In the tower with one window, no doors. And every day, Dame Gothel would come during the day, and Rapunzel, let down your hair so I may climb up in. So she lets down the hair, Dame Gothel climbs up the hair, gets into the room. And one day, Rapunzel's singing, Prince hears it, watches Dame Gothel get in by calling out to Rapunzel. And since she does it every day, he comes at night. And basically he gets her pregnant. Except she doesn't really know what pregnancy is. Because she's, spent most of her life trapped in the room in the tower. So, it's kind of, he heavily takes advantage of her. Rapunzel makes some comment to Dame Gothel about, I think about how she's struggling to fit in her dresses because her belly's getting bigger because of the pregnancy. Dame Gothel, the fit of her, hacks off her hair and casts her out. The prince comes back that night, but Dame Gothel is waiting in the tower with Rapunzel's hair. So when he cries out, she throws the hair down, keeping hold of the other end of it, and he climbs up the tower, only to find her in it. He either falls or is thrown from the tower, and falling through some thorns is blinded. And staggering through the night, he stumbles upon Rapunzel, who's now given birth to twins, a boy and a girl. Her tears cure him of his blindness.
Simon never cheated on me. He was devoted to me, and I was devoted to him. Nothing in life was easy. We were good to each other. Life isn't a fairy tale. We do what we can. Fairy tales. Stories about lost princesses, evil witches, magical mirrors and lost children. So you see, even before I knew the truth, I'd found it in those stories. Okay. There's a girl and she's staring out of the window. She's sad. She's trapped. She's here. She's looking out the window because her mother won't let her out.
Rapunzel. I just went over all of that. just hit an hour. Fuck this. I'm going nowhere. This is going to be the last episode for tonight. I'll come back to this tomorrow after some more thought on it, because clearly I am going nowhere. So, good night, and this is the end of episode 5. Ta-ta!